Right now we have Sully Erna and Shannon Larkin from Godsmack. So great to see you guys, man. It's amazing. And I got to say, Shannon, I love your Ramon shirt representing the punk rock. And we've also got our own Josh Bernstein wearing a Dead Kennedy shirt, Holiday in Cambodia. It's a Holiday Inn shirt. It's classic.
Yeah, we play a lot of metal on the show, but I'm glad that there's proper punk rock being represented.
Yeah, but we love the rock. We certainly do. And speaking of love the rock, your new album dropped this past week, Lighting Up the Sky. So good to have new music from you guys. And I've got to talk to you about that because you guys have said that it's going to be your last studio album. Is that true? Have you rethought that?
It seems like that. What's up, Shannon, by the way? How's it going over there in Florida? You're all warm and we're frozen up here in New England.
Yeah, but you got a cool Jimmy Page poster behind you, so you win.
Yeah, and you got that cool reel-to-reel behind you, Sully, which is great.
I got a lot of. I got Ray Charles up in here. Where's
it's
Ray?
It's so cold. He has a heat lamp on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is some cool-looking photos all the way around. It's great.
Yeah, this is like the little room where now my 21-year-old daughter like rips bong hits and stuff. You know, it used to be my private little sanctuary where I could listen to vinyl records, and now it's like, it's just blunts everywhere, and it's just that. That's where I'm at in my life right now.
Me and her would be great friends.
Yeah, we gotta hang out with her.
Oh yeah, well come on over anytime.
Speaking of that, Sully, because Record Store Day is coming up, and we were talking about it on our last show. What do you pull out when you want to play vinyl? You must have a lot of stuff, but what are some of those go-to albums that you love, those classics?
One of my, I have a lot, obviously, but I think my number one to hear with a needle is Peter Frampton Live.
Frampton Comes Alive, double great album, right?
I just love that record because I love the analog to begin with, but how they mixed the audience and everything into it, like I really miss that whole art of mixing, back then, because it was just, you feel like you're in the concert. Like when that crowd comes alive in some of those songs, like, and you have the right stereo, you really feel like you're in that arena. It's just a really cool, powerful record.
His hair.
Yeah.
Right?
And you dreamed about that when you were a kid. When you were listening to those albums, those live albums, always, it's the thing, you kind of feel, you fantasize about being there, you know what I mean? And then you become a huge rock band like yourselves, like Godsmack did, who have just been doing incredible stuff for so many years, which is great.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not going to let these two off the hook right now because they definitely did not answer your question, Matt, on Lighting Up the Sky potentially being their last record. I'm waiting here patiently, Sully and Shannon.
So listen, I will tell you, and you look great waiting there, by the way. I just want to say that, listen, it feels right. We certainly didn't plan this record to be the last one when we started the whole process. And, the whole story in a nutshell is that when we started getting into the studio to work on some new music, we were just coming into, we were at the height of COVID, right? And so, but our work ethic has always been like, we finish a tour cycle, we take a little break, and then we jump in the studio, we start writing and recording. But I think there was a moment there where we went like, hold on a second, time out here. Like, the world has come to an end. No one's going on tour or releasing a record anytime soon. And even if we just knock this thing out, what are we going to do? Sit on it? Because the world's going to take a minute to correct itself here. So we just decided, you know what, see you when I see you. And what that did for us was it created the luxury of time, right? For us to really go and hand select the best of the best. And during that process, when we would just say like, hey, let's meet up when someone has a really strong idea, and then we'll work through it. And if it's great, it'll make the record. If it's not, it goes in the trash. We didn't sit there and noodle around with things for months and all that. And during those like get-togethers in the studio, I think just through general conversation, we started going like, talking about the set list and what songs would incorporate into the show and whatever. And I think it was then that we started realizing like, man, and I say this ego free, we have at this point 26 top 10 singles. We have 12 number ones. Like, at what point do you kind of know you've arrived, right? At what point do you go, okay, look, at some people want, a house with a white picket fence and a dog and a truck. And then they get that, right? Because that was their goal in life. And then they go, oh, yeah, but it would be nice to have a second car. And it would be nice to have a bigger house. And maybe we want 2 dogs and a couple of kids. Like, it never stops, right?
Yeah.
And I've always promised myself, like, we need to have a goal. We need to accomplish the things we want to accomplish in our careers. But then we have to know when we've arrived. And we started thinking from a fan point of view. And Matt, I'm sure you guys can relate to this, all of you. When you go see your favorite bands, right? Do you really want to hear Aerosmith's new record? I mean, it's cool they have one out, but I'm going there to see Dream On and Walk This Way and Same Old Song and Dance, Yeah. And I would like to think that we've built a catalog now that our fans want to hear the songs that they've crowned to be our best songs. And if we pull 3 or 4 off this record, which is very doable because the material is there, we're going to be at what, 30 top 10 singles? That means we could play 15 songs a night, back-to-back nights, and never play the same single twice, let alone the deep cuts.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like we can't not play I Stand Alone and Keep Away and Voodoo and things like that because the fans yell at us, right?
Yeah.
So
we sing it every
Yeah.
I want you to know, we're going to confess, we sing Voodoo together. We've been doing.
Wait, no, we need to count it. Okay,
It's
we
the
do
best.
this every single time we are in studio, and it's god awful, so I'm warning you. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
I'm not the one who's so far away when I feel
the snake bite enter my veins.
But
then sometimes we crack down. We go, stand alone.
Yeah, we love it. Hey, and you did that song for the first time ever on my TV show back in the 2000s. When you guys played on Farm Club.
Yeah, man, I remember that. That was really
it was
cool.
incredible with all the candles. I love. It's a great memory for me. So I love seeing you guys. Look at this, 30 top 10.
I mean, they have 26 hit singles, but mostly they have the top 2 microphone check songs here at the Power Hour.
Yeah, I think that's your number one on that list.
Test out.
They definitely do, but
It's got to trip you guys out, though, right? When you hear that number, right? I have to think you're in the same company as names of when you probably see your Led Zeppelins and your Aerosmiths and your Beatles, and what's that like for you, Shannon, to see your name because you said it's rock history now, right? You guys have achieved all that stuff. What's it like for you guys to see your names in that company?
Yeah, it's surreal. It's a surreal thing. We're the same. We got, like he mentioned about Frampton Comes Alive. That was actually the first vinyl record I bought, like, with my own money. So it was ironic that when you ask him about vinyl, but so we're fans of music. So sometimes, for me to hear us, in the same sentence as bands like that, it's a little unbelievable, and I'm very grateful to have gone on this journey. And, my thing is, I just love this new record. I can't wait to go play it, man. And just today on this, it was a beautiful day. Every record is like a baby that you have. And when it comes out, it's very exciting. And Tony, our guitarist, who lives about 15 minutes from me, came over, and we've just been playing just drums and guitar, jamming these songs, and they just feel so good. So it's making us very excited to get out and tour.
Yeah, and on top of you guys releasing Lighting Up the Sky, you're also going to be playing at Sonic Temple and Welcome to Rockville. You've announced all of these headlining shows, and more importantly, they're bringing out I Prevail, which is really cool. I would love to know if you guys hand-selected them or if they were referred to you. Are you guys fans of I Prevail?
I think, I'll say that I first heard of I Prevail in a pretty cool way. I saw on the thing called Reels, where they show clips, and the camera was behind the drummer's shoulder, and you see they have 2 singers. One of the singer came back to the drummer, and he like yelled something at the drummer, and you couldn't really tell, but they captioned it, and it said, the elephant. The guy came back and screamed, "The elephant is the largest land mammal." And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right? And he turns
random
around.
facts, yeah. Like he goes and he knows he
like,
can't hear him, so he's screaming random facts at the drummer just to be funny. It's
Which is great.
hilarious. I love it.
I think that's awesome.
It's so awesome. What about you, Sully? Have you been listening to I Prevail? Are there any newer upcoming bands that you're a fan of?
Well, I've been like this introvert during the whole process, because when I start to get into the mindset of creating a new album, I try to disconnect from everything out there, and guilty enough, I have to say, I'm not very hip to like who's out there, who's doing well. But in speaking to I Prevail, I've listened to their music because I was told that they were going to be coming out with us. I think it was a suggestion that the promoters really liked. So I just started listening to some of their music, and I've heard some of their stuff in the past from my daughter because she had some tracks that she was listening to. And I actually think they're great. I think they're a really good band. I think it'll be a good lineup. But I'm so internal when we go through this process, because I found that if I'm out there and I listen to the radio and I listen to and then I get inspired by something, then all of a sudden Godsmack starts to sound like that new riff from I Prevail or Shinedown or whatever. So I try to just kind of disconnect, and I like cut the cord when it comes to that. And then it just, for me, after all this work that we've been doing to set up the record, I've just kind of been chilling and laying low. And so I don't really know a lot of the new bands that are out there.
That makes a lot of sense. Like you said, you don't want to be influenced by others. You just want it to be Godsmack. You want it to be you and Shannon and the rest of the guys. And I love that. But I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys with I Prevail. And I love it when like the older bands are taking out younger bands, because I mean, I'm going to admit this. All of these bands who have been around for 20, 30 years, I got into a little bit later, and I have my husband to thank for that, Hayden. He's in a band called Crown the Empire and loves Godsmack. That's why I'm always singing Voodoo and I Stand Alone, and like he's the biggest Godsmack fan, and he's gonna kill me for saying that and outing him.
I think it's,
but hey.
Yeah, I think that's so cool that he did. Sully, I've got to ask you, because being a parent, Josh and I are parents as well.
Not together.
We're not together. We have not defined any strange
things. With that.
But I wanted to ask, so your daughter, tell me, do you ever share musical things? Do you kind of let her do her own thing? Does she like some of the rock you like? What's it like in the Erna household with music? Like, because she definitely comes in those bong hits in your special room there in the music room.
Yeah. This is what I've learned. Bong hits equals $400 to $500 a week in groceries and fucking dirty laundry all over the house.
It's a gateway to dirty laundry.
Girls, I'm gonna just say this straight up, because guys got a bad rap for a long time, right? Guys are dogs, and you're cheaters, and you're messy, and you slut. Bullshit. Girls, let me tell you something. Girls are disgusting. They just their shit is everywhere. I just take like a push broom, and I just push all the clothes into her door, and then I just shut the door, and then the rest of my house is totally cool. It's clean, everything's spotless. That's all good. So yeah, but as far as music, she has a pretty eclectic playlist. She did not pursue the same path I did in being a musician, but she loves music, and she has the music gene in her, because even when she was younger, I would sit her at the piano and like I could show her like an Adele song, and like she would have it in 10 minutes. So I know she has it, but she just didn't want to go down that road. She likes to do influencing and fashion and modeling and stuff like that. So it's been really great watching her to grow from a child into her own womanhood now. She's 21 and she has a great relationship going, and it's actually, it makes me feel great to know that she's making these really great choices. But musically, she just loves a lot of stuff. She listens to everything from like rap to Post Malone to rock music to alternative to, she's into this, like, she's kind of digging through my album collection, and I hear her in here listening to like Steely Dan and all these kind of like classic nostalgic rock records, and I'm like, yay, finally you're catching up. Like, this is good, because if you play one more rap record in this house, I'm gonna lose my mind. But it's all
maybe
good.
One day she'll end up like one of us.
Well, I want to hear, I know you guys said this is the last album, but I would love to hear an album about, making her clean the room and getting her...
That'd be a great subject matter for a song. Could be a rock opera.
Sweeping up a bunch of blunts and stuff.
Yeah,
that could be a good song.
Yeah.
I'm a dad of one of my daughters is your daughter's age, just around that same age. And in fact, we showed her on the show last week doing her powerlifting on another human being. So it's just like, it's all craziness. But my daughter Maya. But they continue, to grow and surprise us, and it's just cool. It's an amazing thing that you pass on that love of music. I gotta say, so and Shannon, I've been in that basement studio in Boston where you guys did the first album, man. I remember going there on a rainy day and going down the stairs. Isn't it amazing the journey that you guys have had since you recorded the first record? When you think about that sometimes.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was it happened so fast, and when you look back, you just go, wow. I can't believe it's been it's 95. So what are we on? 28 years now. It's just crazy that time flies by so fast, and it really you get a reality check on your mortality, So, but it's been a great run. And by the way, let me just say this in reference to this being the last full body of work that you're going to get from this band. I want people to understand and be clear that we're not saying this is the end of the band, right? This is what we just feel that we've arrived at this certain place in our life. And I remember reading this quote a long time ago from Tom Hamilton when he said, music is something I've always wanted to do in my life, but it's not everything I want to do in my life. And so I start thinking, we're just kind of closing one chapter right now, and we're opening a new chapter. And that chapter is going to be weightless for us, right? Because to not have that responsibility of always having to go back in and grind years of your life in studios making new music, we want to just be able to honor this greatest hit show and create that. Right. So I think we're calling them the sunset years now. We want to just go and enjoy all these things that we've earned for the last 3 decades and be able to have fun with it and not have that pressure of always having to deliver for the label and blah, blah, blah. So I think it's an exciting time, and people should be excited for us because they're going to get more of us because the reward is really the live show. After all the tedious stuff you do in the studio, you guys don't care about that. I mean, it's cool. You get to see the behind the scenes once in a while for a second, but really you're coming to the show to have a good time and have some drinks and listen to music and let loose. Right. And now that's what we get to do for the rest of our lives for as long as we want to do it.
Yeah. And we get to sing all those songs that we know and love so well. You know what I mean? So
I love this stance. And I think you're saying, you're sort of saying the quiet part out loud, right? I think, as you said, hey, it's our new album, blah, 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 bathroom break, right? So,
yeah, I actually saw a band do that where they literally went on stage and admitted when they were starting to do a new song, right?
Yeah,
they said, it was at the Greek here in Los Angeles, and they went, there's a song from our new album. Now might be a good time to get a beer or go to the bathroom and take a piss.
Shut up, they didn't say that.
I swear they said that, and they're like a platinum act. And it was funny to remember.
Wow.
And speaking of these festivals that you're going to be playing, Welcome to Rockville and Sonic Temple, can you give us a little hint possibly at what you're going to open up with or what songs you might involve?
I'm going to defer that one to Shannon. I don't know.
It's funny, we have certain songs that we always like to open with, and we haven't gotten together actually and talked about that yet. It's going to be interesting. I mean, like I said, Tony and I have been jamming these new songs, and we feel that there's 5 or 6 on there that really translate well. They already sound good in a room, and so, but on thinking of what's going to be the opener, I don't know. I mean, with the new record, we also have a thin line of walking in which, we don't want to play too many new songs because you got all these hits that you expect and you want to play. And so, but it's a new record. It's a cycle tour for Lighting Up the Sky. So we want to play as much as we can off this new record, But we haven't been together.
It'll come in stages too, we're gonna settle on X amount of songs at the beginning. We may spread out 3 or 4 of the new songs throughout the set because we have so many others that we're gonna need to do, including the drum battle that we do. But I think as the record picks up momentum, hopefully, and as people get to learn it more and more singles come out, then we can continue to add. So maybe what show you see this spring may not be the same show you see next winter, right? Because we may be able to add more from it and be able to get a little bit more creative and see what the audience is responding to as well,
Yeah.
Well, definitely keep. Yeah. I mean, I was going to say my favorite part of seeing you guys live in the live experience is that drum battle. You guys going at each other and the drums are coming out and they're moving around and you're throwing sticks at each other. every time I see it, it gets better and better, and I can't wait to be at Rockville, Sonic
me
Temple.
too.
He actually wanted to get involved in the drum
I
battle.
do
He
my
was
own
like, he
one
was trying
in the pit. I bring my
Yeah.
little bongos. No, it's fantastic. Live, it's such a. Back to you said the live show is what it's all about. That is just like spectacle upon spectacle, and you guys are covering so many great riffs and going back. And you guys look like you're having fun. Most of all when you're doing it, right?
Well,
So
you know what?
cool.
I just want to say this real quick, Shannon. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but I really think that if anyone knows anything about the history of this band and the era that we grew up in, we are a live band. Like that's what we've prided ourselves in over the years. We weren't raised in a generation where we were just kind of like auto-tune Pro Tools band. So that's all we really know is the live. So every time we write and record a record, we're just really trying to push through that part of it to get the songs documented so we can get back out and perform live. Because that's what I always feel our strength lied was within the live show.
Mm-hmm. And I think we have time for one more question, and I'm gonna hide myself here. You don't have to answer if you don't
Where you
want
going?
to.
Why are you going? Hey, why are you going under the desk?
So, if
Under
you
there.
guys had to choose your favorite Lady Gaga song, what would it be?
Oh, I love Gaga. Are you kidding me? You guys know that.
Yeah.
Gaga's my friend, man. I love Gaga.
There's all that stuff in history.
You
I
never know.
love-
You never know the response you're gonna get when you ask something a little personal.
I love. I'll tell you which one I love. I'm drawing a blank thinking of the name of it, but oh my God, what's this? He's gonna kill me right now. Shannon, do you got one in the meantime? Because there's a song that I love that she does. Born This Way.
That's
Thank
my
you.
girlfriend actually produced that video.
This way.
Yeah. Do you be my girlfriend?
I'm a
produced
You
that
and I
video?
guy. You and I, that's my
Yeah.
jam.
Oh, that's yours.
I like that one.
I like Born This Way too. I think that's a
I'm
great
on
song.
the right track, baby.
She can sing it all. I love that.
No, I
Yeah, that's a
grew
good
up loving
song.
Gaga.
Well,
So.
and she is equally a fan of The Rock, which is amazing. And I've seen her supporting so many great things. And guys, can't thank you enough for being here. We're so excited to have you at the festivals. We're gonna all be hanging out soon. Drum battles. I hope no one dies or everyone survives in those battles. Can't thank you enough. And here's to everything good coming to Godsmack.
Matt, let me say something real quick to you, brother. You've
Yeah.
been with us since day one, man. We love you so much, and thank you for everything you've done for us from the early days up until now, man. This whole ending this chapter thing that we're talking about doing, it's been really emotional for us because it's such a bittersweet because we love what we do so much. But it really makes us reflect on the whole team that's been with us since the beginning, and it's the whole reason why we brought in the original producer, our original management, and so on and so forth. Even our crew members have been with us for decades, right? And you're one of those guys, man, that's been with us since the beginning. So I just want to tell you personally, because we don't know where life's going to take us. If these last few years have taught us anything, it's just things could change in the blink of an eye. So I just want to tell you from me and from the band that we really love you, man. And we really appreciate all the support you've given us.
Thank you so much, Sully. I love you guys too, man. From the minute one, from the very first album, you guys have been bringing great music, and you've been my friends, and it's just been a great journey.
Sure.
So thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. I really appreciate that.
Feel very honored to be able to talk to both of them.
Yeah, I mean, that just did my heart. You made my day. Thank you so much.
The lens cap was on, but I
Of course.
it all again.
No, but it means so much. I just want you to know. We love you, man, so much, and just know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been a great run, man. It's been a great journey, but we haven't got to the end yet, and we have a long way to go. So we're just trying to open up a new chapter in this whole thing, and I think it's going to be great. I think there's a lot yet to come, and we want to have fun, and that's the biggest part of this, right? We've earned that over the years, and we've missed a lot of our time with our children and our families and our friends, and now we want to just celebrate it. We want to celebrate the catalog. We want to celebrate the journey, and that's what this is all about now. So it's a positive time.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I can speak for all of us and say that we're all looking forward to this next chapter for Godsmack in 2023 alone, with you guys being on the road and on all these festivals. So thanks again for joining us. Congratulations on Lighting Up the Sky. I love the new record. It's amazing, and we truly appreciate the both of you.
See you soon, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, warming up. You ready?
I'm not the one who's so far away when I feel the snake bite enter my veins.